This video corresponds with Looking for Pythagoras, problem 3.1. To go along with problem 3.1, we've made this handy-dandy lab sheet. So go ahead and pause this video and grab that lab sheet. If you need to, download it from the website. You'll definitely want your Looking for Pythagoras book out to problem 3.1 and a pencil handy. It will walk you through how to fill this thing out. You'll notice that the front of the lab sheet has a table to record your data in and some dots, a partial sheet of dot paper. And if you look on the back, you'll notice that the front side of the lab sheet has a table to record your data. It also has a partial sheet of dot paper to make your drawings on. And on the back side is a whole other sheet of dot paper in case you run out of room on the front, which we found by experience you probably will. Problem 3.1 investigates the relationship between the short sides of a right triangle called the legs and the long side of a right triangle called the hypotenuse. In your table of data, you are given triangles of various sizes to draw. Their legs are shown in the table. And you will record the area of the square of each leg and the square of the hypotenuse in the remaining blanks. The first one is done for you. But for the purposes of learning how to do this, we're going to fill the first one out together and complete the triangle and the squares that it makes. So to complete this lab, so the first triangle has a leg of length 1 unit. So down below on the dot paper, I'm going to draw a triangle that has a leg of 1 unit. Now the next leg is also 1 unit. So we draw that right there. Now you do a better job than I am at connecting the dots. The third side of a triangle is called the hypotenuse, and it connects the two shorter legs to make a right triangle. So now we have a triangle with a leg of 1, another leg of 1, and a hypotenuse of an unknown length. So the first step is to draw the triangle described in the table. The next step would be to draw a square that's the same length as the leg. So if the first leg has a side of 1, a length of 1, then the square has 4 sides that are also the length of 1. That'll be true for the other leg as well in this case. So I drew both squares that are 1 by 1 squares. Those squares have an area of 1 square unit. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 right in the middle there. You'll see this represented in our table so far. The length of leg 1 is listed, the length of leg 2, the area of the square of the leg 1, and the area of a square of leg 2. Now the harder part is to find the area of the square of the hypotenuse. So we'll draw a square that has the same length of each side as the hypotenuse of our triangle. And then we need to find the area of that square. You may remember from previous lessons that it's difficult to find the area of a square on a tilt like that. But we can break it into smaller pieces and find the area of each piece. This square, for example, can be broken into a triangle that size, which is 1/2 square unit in area, and we know that because it's exactly 1/2 of a unit square. Now in this square in question, I have 4 of those triangles that I'm outlining right now, and 4 half square units makes a total of 2 square units. So we put 2 on our table where it says area of a square on the hypotenuse. So now it's your turn. You need to draw all the triangles on your table, then find the square made by each leg of the triangle and by the hypotenuse of the triangle, and record your data in the table on your lab sheet. For example, the next triangle on your list has one leg that has a length of 1 unit and the other leg has a length of 2 units. So it might look something like this. There's the 2 legs, and then draw the third side to make the hypotenuse. Remember that you'll make a square off of each of these and find the area of each of those squares. You'll notice as I make the last square on this hypotenuse side that I run out of room on my graph paper. So it reminds me to plan accordingly when I'm making my drawings on my dot paper and use the back where necessary. Remember also that in addition to filling out your lab sheet for this problem, you need to answer the questions in problem 3.1 from your math book. As you're filling out your table of data, we want you to be looking for patterns that you see, anything you notice about the numbers and how they relate, and we're asking you to come up with a conjecture about what you notice and make generalizations about what you find. And be ready to discuss these with your classmates.